Hi, welcome back. Namaste. This class will be focusing on the spine. So lengthening, turning, twisting, the Parivrtta action, and we'll do that in standing poses, we'll do that in seated poses, and we'll do a little bit of inversion at the end. Okay? So let's get started.
Before we get started, if you want to learn the basics of Iyengar Yoga,
I've designed a new course, Foundational Iyengar Yoga. This course is for you if you're a beginner, if you've been practicing for a while and you just want to deepen your understanding, or if you're a teacher and you would like to be more inspired, go back to the basics. So it's a 6-week course, 18 different classes, and you'll be able to go through at your own pace.
you can find more details in the description box below.
All right, just to begin with, let's start on the knees and the hands. And just bring a little bit of warmth to the spine. So have the hands underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath your hips, and you're going to lift your hips up, lift your head up, and sink the spine in. And then you're going to exhale and do the opposite. Release the head, release the neck, release the hips. From the spine all the way through up through the brainstem is where we're working here. So the neck and the whole vertebrae column, the whole spinal column and all the vertebrae, and down through the tailbone. So as you exhale, you'll start to release the head down, release the tailbone down, and the abdomen and the front body starts to press up against the back. And then as you come in to the reverse, inhaling, lifting the head, lifting the hips, drawing the spine in so it's moving toward the floor. Press the hands down, keep the arms straight, and then exhaling. Doing this a few times, going slowly, moving each segment in a way that corresponds to the next segment. So nothing abrupt, but just feeling that connection, not staying in any one area too long. Let the neck hang, head hang. Lifting the chest, lifting the hips. And then one more time. Exhaling. And coming down, coming to a neutral position. And then here, go into forward Virasana. So lengthening, using the hips, using the feet, using the shins and the thighs, move back and use the arms, walk forward. So here we're lengthening the whole side trunk, and in the process, the front body is lengthening, both sides of the spinal column are lengthening, and bring your head down. Keep your feet pressing downward. Keep the hands pressing down. Lift the forearms up. And then with your hips anchored back, you can start to walk your hands forward. Stay with the breath. Feel that exhalation like you did when you did that cat-cow position. And then coming up, come into Adho Svanasana. Here you're going to keep your knees bent. First press into the hands, lengthen up through the arms, up through the shoulders. Pressing into the mounds of the toes, lift the heels, and then straighten the legs. So lengthening, using the arms attached to the shoulders to help you extend through this upper trunk. And then as you start to roll the heels down, using the legs connected to the hips to extend the lower portion of the spine. Abdomen moves towards your lower back. So feel that exhalation, not dropping the abdomen to the floor, not dropping the front ribs to the floor. And then coming up, you're going to walk into Uttanasana. Feet hips width apart, fingertips more toward the side of the mat. Stay balanced on the feet. Lengthen forward. So the whole crown of the head is moving forward. Tailbone is moving in the opposite direction. Side waist, lifting and lengthening. And then bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale, come up. And stand at the front of your mat. So we'll first come into just a few sun salutations. So stand in Tadasana. Balance the front body, the back body, both sides of the body, everything moving toward the center line. Stay with your breath. Virasana. Reach the arms up. Exhale, coming forward. Uttanasana. And then walk or jump your feet back. Come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Here, come into plank pose. Chaturanga. Coming up into upward dog. Stay on the toes, move the hips forward, move the chest forward. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then you're going to jump or walk your feet back. Uttanasana. Take your hands back a little bit further. Release your head down, release the side trunk. Looking up, Virksasana. Reach the arms up. Namaskar. Tadasana. Inhale, Virksasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Walk or jump back. Taking a few breaths there. Plank pose. Chaturanga. Upward dog. This time come onto the fronts of the feet. Slide forward. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walk or jump your feet. Uttanasana. Virasana. Lift up. Namaskar. Tadasana. Inhale, Virasana. Exhaling, Uttanasana. Walk or jump back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Coming into plank pose. Upward dog. Come onto the fronts of the feet. Lift up, lift the chest. Keep the thighs lifting away from the floor. Descend your tailbone. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walk or jump forward. Uttanasana. And then Virksasana. Namaskar. Tadasana. All right, so standing in Tadasana, I'm going to go into Parvottanasana. So jump your feet, 4.5, 5 feet apart. Turn your left foot, right leg out. Bring your hands onto your hips. Lengthen back through that back leg. And then begin to go forward over the front leg, extending, lengthening as you go. Hands on your hips. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Lengthen forward. If you need blocks here, you take your blocks on either side of the foot. Bring more weight onto the front of the foot. Lift up through that back hip and extend through the back leg. As you press the heel, lengthen through the crown of the head. And now take your fingertips on the outer side of your foot and slide the rib cage over the front leg. So we're going into that Parivrtta action. So we're going to be turning the whole rib cage down. So first slide it over to the outer side of that leg, and then bring your hand onto the floor. Have the forearm connecting, so you can use that as a little bit of leverage and balance, pressing the forearm against the upper ankle of the shin bone, and then take your hand on your hip. Compact your hips, draw the hips towards one another, keep extending through that back leg, and then begin to turn. Use your inhalation to lengthen, use your exhalation to turn. From the center of the spine, revolving those ribs down toward the floor. Stay balanced on your feet, turn the chest, and bring the arm up. Pressing into that bottom hand, lift up through the arm, turn the chest. So the back ribs come forward toward the chest, outer hips move towards one another. Bring the hand down, come back into Parvottanasana, preparing to come up, balance through the feet, lengthen up through the legs, bring your hands onto your hips, inhale, come up. Turn your feet, turn to do the other side. Remember, if you need blocks, you take those blocks. So if you've been practicing a while, you know if you need blocks or not. If you don't know, I'm not there with you. So if your back is rounding and you're coming down like this, then take those blocks. Coming forward, lengthening. Press more into the front of the foot at this point and lift that outer thigh up. Extend the heel down. Bring your fingertips onto the floor. And compact the hips. So the left hip is moving toward the right hip. And as you inhale, lengthen forward. And then bring your hands over onto the outer side of the foot. Be there. Slide these ribs over. So they're moving the front ribs toward the ribs on the leg side. So you can feel the ribs there now on the thigh more. And lengthen forward. Take your hands, fingers on the floor, fingertips on the floor. Outer arm, shin in contact. And then start to turn. So this hip is going to turn a little bit. Stay grounded in the back leg, turning the rib cage, and then reach the arm up. Stay balanced on the front of the foot, the back of the foot. Stay with your breath. And then coming back, come back into Parvottanasana. Preparing to come up, stabilize through the feet, through the legs. Bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale, come up. Turn the feet. And jump the feet together. Okay? Stand in Tadasana. Stabilize yourself. Stabilize the breath. All right, now we're going to come down onto the floor. Left knee is on the floor. Right leg is bent. Foot is under the knee. You're going to lunge forward here and lengthen. And now we're going to turn. So we're going to turn toward this bent knee, leg, thigh, and come forward and hold on to with the arm, hold on to the leg, and bring my back body toward the front body so the whole abdomen is pressing toward that thigh, and turn the chest. Hand on my hip, turning, and then release. Step forward and bring that knee back. Coming to the other side. So I'm on the toes now. I have the toes curled under. You can either be flat on the foot. Find where you have more balance. Lift up. Bring your arm to that outer leg. Compact the hips. Draw this hip back. And turn. So feeling those back ribs moving forward toward that front leg. Turn the chest. Turn the back. Rotate that Parivrtta action. And then release. Come forward. Uttanasana. And then step back. Bring the knee onto the floor again. This time, you're going to bring the arm over. So you're lengthening through the side and bringing the elbow over, bringing the upper arm over, lifting and turning through the abdomen. So I'm going to lift and turn. Walk the arm down, lift and turn. Walk the arm down, lift and turn. You can use a block here if you'd like. Take the fingertips to the floor. Stay on the toes. And get this movement by walking the hand closer to the ankle, turning the back, turning the chest. And now here, keep that position. Keep the hips stable, moving towards one another. Curl the toes under, press, and lift up. Straighten the back leg. Lift the arm. Bring the arm over the head. Turn the chest. Coming out, bring your hand back. Bring the knee onto the floor. Step forward again. Come to Uttanasana. And then step back, second side, knee on the floor. Taking this arm over, swinging it arm as much as you can, bringing the elbow down, lift, press, lift up, turn. Press, lift up, turn. So you're turning the abdomen. All that flesh that's caught, let it release. And then take the fingers down as close to the ankle as you can. Stay on the toes to keep your balance, and the front foot. Turn the chest. Outer hips moving towards one another. And then straighten the back leg. As you straighten that back leg, keep the hip low. Turn the chest. Bring the arm up. Extend through the heel. From the tailbone through the crown of the head. Reach the arm over. Bring the back ribs forward toward that leg and turn. Bring the arm back, hand on the hip, coming forward again, coming back to Uttanasana. Release your head, release your breath. Virasana, coming up. And bring your hands down. All right, so now I'm seated. If when you're seated, your back sinks, your back rolls over, and you're not able to get that height, or your hamstrings are tight, then you can sit on a blanket. So you would fold the blanket and sit on that blanket, or you can have a block, okay? So I'll use this blanket for now. I might take it away later, so we'll see how we go. Bring your legs out to the side, Upavistha, and slide to the front of the blanket. So you're coming more onto the floor. Bring your thighs down, bring the backs of your knees down. Have your heels lined up so that they're on the front of the mat, so you can see that your legs are equidistant apart. You're sitting evenly on both buttocks, both sitting bones. And we're going to go first to Parsva Upavistha. So I'm turning to the left. I'm going to take my hands in the front and in the back, and I'm turning here. So it's not as much a turn as we had in the earlier poses. Parsva turning, so the front side ribs can go further toward this side. Be on the fingertips to get that lift, but also that descending action. So we work a lot with opposing forces. They're all around us, so the thighs are moving down, as we press the fingertips down, we lift up, right up through the crown of the head. Both sides of the waist moving in and lifting up. Roll your back shoulder back. Exhale, come back to the center. Take the other side. I'm going to take the blanket away. Fingertips in the front, fingertips in the back. Press the fingertips, and as I press the fingertips, I'm moving the inner thigh down, inner knee down. So especially when I'm turning to this side, this leg has to be more grounded to be able to keep that connection there. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn. Take a few breaths there. Be aware of that extension as you lift up away from the floor. And then release. And now we're going to come forward a little bit, and we're going into Parivrtta, Upavistha. Well, this is a preparation for that. Okay, so we're coming forward, lengthening, and you're going to take your hand on your calf, lift up, slide those ribs, lengthen forward a bit. And then you're going to take your hand on your foot. If you can't catch your foot, stay with the calf or take a strap on the foot. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn. So I'm using my hand on the floor. I'm using the hand and the arm on the foot to help gain access to this upper back here. So I'm turning there as this hip is grounded. Lower back waist is turning. Middle ribs and the chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. So we're going to work more with the Parsvakonasana, the turning action than going forward. So if going forward is too much for you, just stay with that turning action. And then release. Come back to the center. Just rebalance between the two legs. And then coming to that other side. Grounding that hip. Feeling that contact of the back leg on the floor. Turn. Then I'm going to take hold of the calf. Inhale, lift. As I exhale, come into the back ribs. From the center of the middle of the back, I'm turning the right back ribs. Left back ribs. Turning. Lengthen through the heel. Stay on the heels. Draw the toes back towards you. Lengthen up. And then if you can catch the foot, or take the strap. Use this hand on the floor to help keep your balance and also shift the weight back so that you have the weight in the back leg. And turn. And then release. Come back. Fingertips behind you. Okay, now we're going to go into Parivrtta, Upavistha. All right, so in Parivrtta, we're going to turn the opposite way. Parsva, we were turning that way. So Parivrtta, we're going to come down with the arm. And actually, I'm going to get a block here. And bring the block here, just as a little bit more preparation. Turn it. Or something that you have. So slide forward, lengthening. Catch your arm on that block, and then take hold of the toes. Okay, once you have your arm there, I want you to bring that whole shoulder blade in and turn your chest. So using the arm to get a little bit more turning, lengthen, stay in the back leg, exhale, turn. And then release, come forward. And now take the block away. We'll do that side again. So lengthen forward, cut that whole shoulder under, rotate the shoulder, walk the elbow away, catch the hand on the foot, and use the arm against the leg to then turn the shoulder, turn the back body. And reach the arm up, bend the elbow, take the hand back, arm moving back toward the wall. Get that turning. And then bring the arm over the head. You can catch the toe or you can take a strap. If you can catch both sides of the feet and start to revolve and turn. Exhale, coming forward. Come up. And coming to the other side. Okay, so stabilize yourself in the center. And then coming forward, you're going to move that arm forward. We'll start with the block on this side. Move that arm forward. So again, you can use the block for the second time as well if you weren't able to go down very low and you needed a little bit more support there. So I'm pressing the arm, taking the toes, and I'm using that to turn the back ribs. Meanwhile, stay on the back thigh, stay grounded in the hip, turn the waist, turn the chest. So I'm pressing the elbow, I'm pressing the arm, turning the chest. And then release. Take the block away or use the block again. If you're going to catch the foot and you need a strap, you can always have the strap here. Press the elbow, have the elbow and the arm touching each other so that you can use that now instead of the block. Turn the chest. So you're lengthening and you're turning. And then bring the arm up, bend the elbow, shoulder moving back, collarbone moving back, reach the arm over. If you're holding the strap, just lengthen through the arm. Turn the chest. Bring more weight onto that left leg. Extend through the right leg. You can come down, take the hand, and lift up. And reach up. So always doing appropriate to your body condition. So taking strap, taking block, sitting on some height. Do what you need to do to make sure you stay safe. Okay? So now we're going to go into Janu Sirsasana. You're going to bend your right knee. So you're coming onto the front of the foot. And then you're going to come forward, same way, lengthening. You can have your hand on your knee, on your thigh, and as you press the hand, lengthen forward, and then take hold of the foot or have the strap. Have the arm against that leg, and then with that leverage there, and with the awareness in the back shoulder blade, turn that back shoulder blade forward toward the chest, and take the other arm back. Widen through the collarbones, widen through that side of the chest, turn. Keep this knee pressing and lengthening down, and then bring the arm up, bend the elbow, and reach the arm over. So I'm just going to find out where that foot is, reposition my arm, and then look up underneath that arm, turning. Stay with your breath. And then reach up and come up. Extend the leg out. And we'll do the other side. So turning the foot. We're going to come forward now. So this leg is lengthening, but it's also connecting back into the hip socket. As I come forward, bringing the knee and the elbow and the upper arm in contact. So make sure you adjust this leg so that you feel like you can go over. Take hold of the foot. Press the knee down, lengthen that leg. Lengthen Inhale, exhale, turn. Broaden through the chest. Have a few breaths there. And then bring the arm up, bend the elbow, take the arm over, and turn. Look up underneath that arm, turning that shoulder as much as you can, getting that revolved action from the back. Turn. Now, if I had a strap, I might be able to get a little bit more of that turning. So some of you will be able to turn more than others. So just showing how the strap can help you get that. So as I lean onto that straight leg, turning, and then extend the arm. And then lift up. Okay, so now come back into Upavistha. Straighten both legs. And then bring your legs into Baddha. Bringing the feet together. Bring the feet in towards you. Just holding onto the toes. You're going to come forward, lengthen. Let your knees release down by lengthening your legs. So not just pressing the knees down, lengthen the inner leg, draw back through the outer leg. And with that will come some release. So just being aware of what you need to be doing, going slowly. So our hips are connected to our spine, so it's important that we have that opening in the hips, or we bring that opening in the hips. Inhale, come up. Okay, now you're going to have a blanket. You can sit on the blanket. You can have a block behind you. So bring your foot in, lift up, and getting that same action we had before, bring the arm over and start to go down further, turning. Come into Marichyasana 1 or Marichyasana 3. Press the arm, lift the chest, and turn. Coming down a little bit lower, you can bring the leg over and then come back onto the sole of the foot, inner and outer edge, and turn. Releasing. Stretch your leg out. Other side. So take time to walk your arm down, lift up, turn. All that same action that we were doing with the Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Keep extending through the heel. And release. Okay. So now we're going to come into Vrksasana. So bring your hands to the wall. So I want you to stand in Tadasana, in Adho Mukha Vrksasana. Coming in. Reach the legs up. So if you can't go up, kick one leg up at a time. And then finally, bring both legs up. And just allow the spinal column to balance out. Both sides working evenly. Press into the hands, lift the shoulders. Thighs back. Tailbone and middle buttocks forward. Shoulder blades away from the wall. Keep one leg lifted up and then bring the other leg down. Uttanasana. Take hold of the heels, release down. Use that same breath as cat-cow. Exhale. And then come up. And you'll go into Bandha. So you have a block at the wall. Come up. Lifting your hips. With your feet on the floor, just to begin with, lengthen the thighs, roll the shoulders under. See if you measured correctly. If you didn't, then you have to come down. Come a little bit away from the wall and bring both feet onto that block. Adjusting the shoulders. Keep the feet pressing into the wall. Release the thighs down. Feel the shoulders on the floor. Lift the chest. Stabilize with the 4 points. Tailbone is fixed, so absorb the tailbone in toward the front pelvis and allow the front groin to open. Feeling the length come through the whole front body, from the pubic bone up through the chest, the entire organic system. Feeling that space. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the floor. Have your feet hips width apart and just stay on your feet. Coming up, lower your block, bring it on the second height, cross your hips. Press into your feet so you can feel the block on your sacral band. Relax the abdomen. And then you'll come up, take your block away, and you can lay down for Shavasana. Adjust your pelvis, adjust your shoulders, and then lengthen out the legs. Just allow the body to release, relax all the muscles, all the joints, relax the breath. Stay here as long as you like. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've had a good practice and you are feeling that movement through the spine, more energy, more breath, and more tranquility. See you next time. Namaste.